All right. How's it going, everyone? Welcome. I know it's been a long time since I've been live, and I'm excited to share what we've got going on for 2025 for our next cohort of students. So, we're going to be talking about our 10-week boot camp coming up and how you can get involved, what's included in that boot camp. We just came off of our summit where we had dozens of student testimonials about winning their first contracts, winning their third and fourth contracts, and also having their most successful year ever. And so we want to help all of you out here have your most successful 2025, going from $0 to contracts. And we want to help you. And this boot camp is something that I created back in 2021. So it's been nearly 3 years since I last did it. And it turned out success winners and success stories that you guys have come to know and learn about and are now household names. And so we want to bring it back in 2025, and we want to launch the next success stories of small businesses. So I'm bringing back this boot camp from into 2025, and I want all of you guys to participate. And so we're going to go over that today in this video, and at the very end, we'll answer any questions for those who are here on live session as well. So let's jump into it. The first week, kind of what to expect on the boot camp. We're going to talk about the pillars of success. What does that look like? So pre-award, before you actually get a contract, what does it look like the opportunity side, right? And then once you've identified some opportunities and prior to actually bidding the contract, what are the things you have to do? And then post-award, right? What do those activities look like? And then managing the documents, because we always say that getting a contract is easy, but managing the contract, keeping it, and making money is the hard part. And so we want to talk to you about what do those pillars of success look like at each different level. And we think that's really important because, my goal here is not just to help you win your first contract. My goal is to help you win multiple contracts, to actually build a business from doing government contracts. So I want you to build a government contract business. I want you to grow it to significant revenues. Again, we like to say that we can help people go from $0 to $5 million. So these are the activities that we want to help you do, not just win one and done mom and pop SAP type small business contracts. We want you to work on higher level activities so that you can win larger contracts and put yourself in a position to be successful in the long term. So it's very important to understand about post-award as well as document management. So we're going to cover that in the boot camp as well. Must-have team members. Again, we are big on building a sustainable organization that lasts over time. So we want to discuss what are those 5 must-have team members and also their roles, responsibilities. Where do you find them? What do they look like? And how to build out an organizational chart. Because even if you have an existing business, coming over into Govcon is something different. And so what does that look like? We want to discuss, because that transition from serving like corporate clients to doing government is a big deal. But also if you are a mom and pop or a solopreneur or you don't have a business, what are the people that you should be looking for, right? The goal of the boot camp is to prepare you to be able to, again, even if you don't know at this time, right, what you need, when you finish, you'll know exactly what you need, you know where to find the people at. And so really it's up to you just to do the activities. And so that's my goal. Again, like I mentioned, we'll help you show you what a typical organizational chart looks like. And then we'll get into some of the activities, right? So what are those activities that each member should be doing? And knowing that is really important because it helps when you are putting together a plan of knowing how to structure the plan. Many of us, we go into this blind, cold, no plan, and we wonder why we don't have much success. And unfortunately, right, they say what happens if you fail to plan to fail. So I just want to say that because I really think that it's important to, if you are going to start in this business and you want to have success and you want to go and start winning contracts 2025, it's imperative that you have a plan. All right, filling in the gaps, funding. I know that's a big issue for a lot of people, funding, right? We are working with several partners in terms of helping you fill the gaps on funding because I know that for many of us, it's difficult to get traditional bank funding. Banks don't typically like to work with small businesses. So what are some of the sources of opportunities for funding? And also, what are some of the things that we've done in the past? So I love sharing my actual success stories, what I've done in the past and what we help to do for small businesses. Again, just letting you know what's ahead of you so that I don't want you to get smashed in the face. I don't want you to like wake up one day and this all of a sudden this comes upon you. I want you to say, okay, Eric warned me about this. He told me that this would happen to me. I know what approach to take. I know what to do. Remember, having a mentor or someone that coaches you through can save you years of bump your head and making mistakes. And that's my goal. I can't keep you from making every mistake, but I can help you avoid many of the mistakes. So that's what we're going to talk about in week one. And just for context, it's a lot of information. I just went over the high levels of information at the very least, but it's tons of information because, again, we're going to go through every one of those sections in depth and what's expected in the roles. On the second week, what we like to do is we'll hold office hours where we'll allow people to come in and ask questions about any of the things that we discussed in the first week, to seek out clarity, to essentially, hopefully, you've tested some of the things we talked about and you come back to us with questions. So we typically like to do 1 week on and then the second week of Q&A, so you get the chance to implement it, and then we'll go into the third week of training. So week number 3. And week number 3, what I have experienced, right, and for those of you who don't know me, I've been teaching and training online since 2017. I've had my podcast since 2018. So I've had the privilege and the honor to work with thousands of you guys out here to answer tens of thousands of questions and to interview over 300 of the top small businesses. And one of the resounding things that I find that is the biggest obstacle in the way of everyone here, you know what it is? It's right here. It's your mindset. And so the reason why week 3 is called Believe is because we have to show people that this is possible. This is for you. You are the right person. You're in the right position. You have the necessary skill set. You have the prerequisite work ethic. So all we're going to do is give you the tools and put you in a position to win, right? So again, tactics are useful only if you believe that you can truly accomplish what you set out to do. And so for me, even though we're going to give you all these tactics, we've got to work with you to see what are some of your impediments that's preventing you from executing on the thing. So again, I want to talk about here EQ, right? Emotional quotient, emotional intelligence. And so in week 3, we talk about your dominating thoughts because that's what eventually produces themselves into outward physical action. I know this is possible. I've done it for hundreds of people in our current groups. I've done it for hundreds of people before I ever was on YouTube. I've done it for myself, and we continue to do this for others. And so we know that's possible, but the trick is, how do I get you to believe that? We're going to get into some goal setting. And I think this is super important because what I find, and you'll find this with many successful people, is we set goals on what we want to accomplish, right? We make a plan. We cannot just wake up one day and hope that somehow life will magically happen for us. So we get into goal setting. We talk about some of the major causes of failures, and we look at what that seems to be. And then people ask me, "Hey, Eric, where do people go wrong? Where are some of their common mistakes?" These are important because why? You want to know what things that you should be avoiding as well. All right. And so again, week 4, we'll do office hours. We'll ask questions as well. By the way, if you're watching this content, go ahead and hit the likes button. I see a couple people hit the like button and give us a thumbs up. We're discussing the 10-week bootcamp that starts January the 10th of next year. And we're talking about what's going to be included in the bootcamp and what you can expect to learn. And then also at the end, we'll answer any logistical questions that people may have. So that's what we're discussing. If you're just jumping on my channel, thank you for being here today. It's been a while since I've been live, but I hope you've been enjoying all the content we've been putting out fire interviews with great guests, showing you students that are winning, showing all the activities that are happening. So I hope that you've been enjoying all the content. We've been pushing a lot more success story content, and that seems to resonate with a lot of people. But we do want to get back to training and technique so that you can be one of those people that joins and you can be on our channel as well. So looking forward to that, and all of you guys watching. Week 5. So now we're going to get into building out your team, self-assessment, looking at what's your capacity, right? And then how do you find fellow buyers, players and deal makers? Who's got your money? So we're going to get into the actual, like, what do you do? Where did it go? Who's got your money? How do you get access to it? We're going to show you all of the different wheels of choices, terms from SAP and micro. What does it take to become a prime? What does it take to become a subcontractor? How to team with people? How to become a consultant, right? We look at how do you make decisions about what things to choose. I think it's so important because when you're starting out, you don't know a lot of these things. And so we want to help you slice and dice them and figure out what makes sense given your current situation, because we're all in different situations. By the way, I just put at the bottom, if you have any questions about any of the things you have here, you can call the number that's on the screen. You can send an email to the number that's on the screen. And then you can also join federalhelpcenter.com if you're not already in there, for free. And we're answering and taking questions from people. So several different ways to reach us if you have questions about anything, right? So we do a self-assessment, prime versus sub. And then we start looking at KOs, COTRs, what are that, right? Contracting officers, contracting officer representatives. How do you get started working with them? Who should you be talking to? When? What should you say? And so we'll cover all those things in week 5, which is a lot because that's where we start actually getting into the activities. So first we'll give you an overview of the whole process and building out your team, organizational. Then we'll talk to you about how to think about these things. And then we'll get into the activities that you should be doing. Now remember, this is part of our group coaching sessions. So you don't have to wait for the live boot camps. You can still have access to all of our on-demand trainings, all of our on-demand lessons as well. So this is something that we're doing because it was extremely effective when I did it back in 2021. And I know that for those people who will be in the program in 2025, you will be the next winners, and you'll be the next people speaking on stage with me and with all of my other Govcon winners. So very happy to see and very happy to bring that back. And then also, you'll be in our library of content for the next 2 to 3 years as well. So week 7, who has my money? Again, like I said, it doesn't matter how many books you read, how many lessons you watch. It's the razor's edge activities that makes a difference. So again, you can sit back and watch me all day. You can look at all the videos. You can binge watch. But until you step in the arena, none of it matters. So I want to get you out from behind the screen and get you in the arena. Have you not seen our recent videos with our students who got out there and implemented and executed, and now they are winning contracts and building partnerships and relationships? We look at some of the sources for activity, right? Deal flow, where's that coming from? And then we'll look at what is the process all the way up to contract award. Who should you be talking to? When, where, how? What should you be doing? All of the activities that we do on a week in, week out basis to produce our results. What does the pillars of success look like in terms of opportunities? And then homework, right? What are those activities that you should be doing? So again, a lot of this is a lot, you take and you say that's 1 week, but I can tell you right now, when we're doing like our research, that takes weeks to do. So we're telling you all of the activities in that time frame, but to go back and actually execute it and implement it and put it in your business, that could take you, depending on how much time you have and available, 1 to 2 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks, right? Depending upon how much time you can put into it. So, but we want to be there standing by your side, helping you to be able to do this. And week number 9, write-ups that get called backs. If you can't write a proposal, you will drown the marketplace. Yes, I say that because there are bids that you can bid, which is the price, but when you want to get into long-term success, bigger wins, bigger programs, bigger projects, we have to learn how to write proposals. AI has done a great job of helping us outline it, but still you have to actually learn how to write it, how to structure it, how to organize it, and we start to work with you on how to do that. So how to write award-winning proposals, methods to responding on short notices, creating templates and guidelines to be successful, tricks to ensure that you're covered 100% of all the requirements, We get into some of the actual regulations because why? What I've done is I've had a lot of back and forth with government people, and sometimes if you know the rules, then you can have them change their mind or opinion about something that you was submitted. But a lot of times, since we don't know those rules and what they are, we can't kind of force their hand to bend to what we want them to do or help us. And so again, having a mentor is going to help you shorten that time frame. Because if I can help you, like I've helped some students in the past where they bid a project, they had all of their pricing, but they weren't making money based on the pricing. They gave it to me. I went back, I adjusted all the pricing, we resubmitted it, and now it went from a non-profitable contract to a profitable contract. So knowing the rules and knowing what you can and can't do is super helpful and important to winning at government contracts. And then again, we get into the activities of what you should be doing. And then lastly, right, the Q&A sessions and following up. So that is a kind of a 15-minute overview of what you can expect in the boot camp. We'll get into some of the logistics, and then we'll answer questions, and then I'll hop on the call with some of the folks. So a couple logistics coming up. Next week, December 17th, we're having an event mixer at 4 p.m. Eastern Time for all of our new group coaching members. We are also hosting a free veteran summit. That event is available if you are inside of our group coaching plans. The event is free to everyone, but if you want to participate in the summit and ask questions to our speakers, then that's only for those of us who are in group coaching. And then January 10th is where the first cohort begins in terms of the boot camp. So you will start off with a whole group of people. And what I've seen is, which is amazing, is that the people who start off in these cohorts, they end up becoming friends and they become business associates lifelong. So when you start off these cohorts with people, right, then for the next 6 months to a year, you're going to start to develop a relationship with them, and sometimes you end up bidding projects together, teaming together, and exchanging resources. So I like the cohort format. If there's nothing else other than the fact that you get to start with a group of people that have other skill sets that you may not be able to possess, and so you have a lot of synergies. And so I've seen that work successfully over time, and so we like that type of format. So let's talk about some of the logistics. So all of our plans include the federal contracting roadmap, which is our guide to step-by-step guide now of all of the lessons, all of the activities you should be doing to win contracts. All of our plans include our roadmap tracker, which is, and I'll show you these things at the end. Essentially, our tracker is where do you put in all of your CRM, all of the activities you're doing. So if you don't have a CRM, which a lot of us, we don't have CRMs, if you don't even know what a CRM is, essentially what we've done is, for me, when I make phone calls and I'm talking to government officials and I'm doing activities, I keep an Excel spreadsheet. And so we use Google Sheets now. So I've taken all of my sheets, combined them, and we give that to you guys so you have a template of where to follow. So when you're pulling out, when you're doing research, or you're making calls, all of this information gets stored in one single place. And then you have it so that when you have to reference back to something that you said to someone, or if you're looking at a forecast opportunity, you have it all in a single place. All of our plans include bi-weekly live calls. All of our plans includes our 5-day first partner challenge, where on that challenge, we help people find large businesses to partner with, to team with, to go after federal contracts. All of our plans include our on-demand course library, access to all of our vaults of templates and scripts. So all the plans, regardless of what payment you pay, includes these items. Again, if you have any questions about any of this stuff, at the bottom here, you'll see an email address, you'll see a phone number to call, and then you can jump to Federal Help Center and you'll get included. So now into the specifics. Our standard group coaching plans are $2,000 a year. That plan includes 10 leads, 1 month of one-on-one coaching, or you can pay $249 a month. And then our lifetime plan, which is $5,000, includes 2 licenses and 3 months of one-on-one coaching. And so with that, I will open up the floor for questions and answers. And for those of you who are watching online, again, if you're watching this as a replay, let me tell you where to go. I think I put it in the chat, but I will drop it in there. Again, we're going to go to, let me stop this. I'll share the screen. We're going to go over to groupcoaching.com, and that's where you will see all of this information. So welcome. Hi, Miss Bay. How's it going today? Ashraf, how are you? Adept Property Solutions, Eric, I'm back. Eric, I have 1 million contracts. I offer high demand service. I'm looking for other ways to grow. Would this bootcamp still be beneficial given us information? So, Jason, absolutely, because having $1 million contracts is great, but you could go to $5 million in contracts. So I'm sure that the boot camp, by the way, just for context, Jason, the boot camp is only part of our group coaching plan, meaning that the group coaching library of content, which is what we teach, that has all of the things in terms of how do you leverage 8A, how do you negotiate contracts, how do you actually execute. The boot camp is sort of a primer, kickoff to the group coaching lessons that has all of our content library. So for me, unless you already know how to do all of these things, which I would imagine, you can't, because we have people that do 5 million a year that don't know all this stuff, that there's still gonna be benefit for you as well. But thanks for asking the question. All right, Kadar says, question, with the Find Your First Partner Challenge, are we becoming a Govcon consultant? So that's a great question. Actually, the answer to that is, if you want to become a consultant, you can, but there's a lot of people that have, like, for example, let's say Jason over here, he's got 1 million in contracts. He may need a larger partner so that he can go to $5 million in contracts. So it's not necessarily only for becoming a consultant, it's also for finding teaming partners who can help you scale, execute, deliver, maybe fund your project, because oftentimes when you are going from, let's say, the commercial sector to the government, they have bigger demands, bigger needs. So if you were doing, say, landscaping, maybe your landscaping, even if at the county level, they may be much smaller projects. Then when you come to the federal level, they may want you to landscape an entire military base. So in order to do something like that, you may have the technical prowess, but obviously it's a much bigger contract, much bigger opportunities, and so you're going to need a bigger teaming partner. And that's why I like working with the federal government, because what we've seen, Kadar, is that sometimes on some of my projects, I'm the sub and my friend is the prime, depending upon who has more of the qualifications. And then vice versa. Sometimes he's the sub to me and I'm the prime to him. So that's what I want to say. How do you join? We don't have a 1-week boot camp. We have a 10-week boot camp. But you join it by visiting govconcoaching.com, which I just put in the chat. So there's a website, govconcoaching.com. But again, we've got emails, we have phone numbers you can call, and so you can ask questions there. All right. I'm registered in SAM, need help, and I believe this is for me. I could do this. Yeah, getting registered in SAM was a great first step, and I know we all feel like very happy to get registered in SAM, which is good. I mean, I love that. But again, we need a plan, right? You're not gonna be able to go at this by just shooting blanks out there and hoping for the best. I've seen that time and time again, and I found that it's just been very difficult, right? When you don't know what to say, who to talk to. I literally just, right before this call tonight, I just finished meeting with somebody who's running the SBA's Mentor Protege program. And the biggest impediment they see that small businesses have is, for example, they want to come into these programs. All of the programs that the government has, she said, are meant to propel your business. So these are business development programs. So you're supposed to use them to propel you, not to as a launching pad to start. And I think that so many of us get mixed up, which we're thinking that these government programs like 8A and these things are meant to start and launch our businesses. And they're not. They're meant to accelerate them, right? And help them grow and scale. So what we try to do is help you start and launch and get some traction. And then we introduce these programs to now accelerate that traction and propel you to the next levels. And I want us all to think of it in that manner, because I think that's the biggest challenge that we're facing, is we believe that the programs are meant to actually take and scale us. They are, once you know what you're doing. So the first thing is understand what you're doing, understanding the customers, understanding what they're asking of you. And that's where I believe that there's the gaps that we can help fill for a lot of you out here. So any more questions anyone has? Any questions? I'll show you a couple more things real quick. So while we're here, so this is the roadmap that we created, and you can see in the roadmap, it goes over all of the activities that you should be doing and in terms of your business. So even if you decide, right, like Eric, hey, I sign up and I'm not as committed as I want to, we will still give you access to the roadmap and you get to keep it, right? This is yours, you get to keep it. And so when you, because I understand, I know how it goes. So sometimes we get busy and life comes upon us. So I know how it goes, but you will still have access to that. So at the very least, you'll know what you should be doing. So even if you're no longer enrolled in any of our programs or closest, then you still will know what you're doing. All right. So the boot camp is part of our group coaching. So everyone who's enrolled in group coaching, they get to be part of the boot camp. It is not a separate cost for the boot camp. It's part of our group coaching. So anyone who's in any of our group coaching today, you will get the chance to participate in the boot camp. So the only requirement is that you are inside of group coaching, which is the plans that we showed you. There is no separate cost for the boot camp. We are not selling it separately. And the reason why we don't sell the boot camp separately is because the boot camp is the idea behind the boot camp, right, is what it says. Think about like exercise. If you exercise and you go to boot camp, you still need to continue exercising to remain fit, to remain healthy, to actually have long-term results. So the boot camp is designed to get you off the couch, getting you understanding the process, getting you to do some activities so you can start having some success, and then you move into group coaching. Yeah, so everything that we're offering, Kadar. So Kadar's question is, I saw something about a 7-day free trial. Yes, so the 7-day free trial allows you to go in and to see, right? What we wanted to do is, I've heard from a lot of people that there's a lot of folks teaching government contracting, and they're making you give them money before knowing the value of what they're offering. So we just want you to be able to see all the things behind it. So you can see all of our content library. You can see all the actual stuff that's in there, because it's hard to explain to people without them seeing it. So we allow you to see it first before we make you commit. And so that 7-day trial exists, yes, so everyone can actually see what they're receiving before they actually give us money. So this is the tracker where, like I said, it shows you all of your contract opportunities, your basic opportunities. So we put our contract vehicles in here. We put in here our federal activities dashboard, our projects in progress, some of our completed projects, and then this bid estimating sheet. So this is one of my templates that I use to estimate bids. And when you start doing negotiated type of contracts, you have to present to the government, right, an estimate of all your costs. So I'm giving you that template inside of the tracker. So again, these are all benefits that you receive with the program, in addition to the on-demand library of classes, training, and all of our bi-weekly calls. Any other questions? All right, well, listen, I tell you what, thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call or reach out to us below. Look forward to seeing you guys. Again, I'm gonna do a couple more live sessions, so this will not be the last time you hear from us, but I did want to let you guys know what was happening.